What's up, traders? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com. And we got a short week here. So Thanksgiving is going to be on Thursday. And then essentially Friday is probably going to end up being a nothing day here. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to work with. And today actually started off really well. And I left like 90% of this move on the table today. So, with respect to like the S&Ps here, S&Ps both and Nasdaq, right? We had two things that really stood out was this 45.41 quarter was an overnight high from that earnings spike or from the news spike the other day. And then in the Nasdaq, we had the same level. It was up here at 16,049.50s. And I don't have it marked here, but basically right up through here. And my thinking was like, okay, cool. We'll probably rally up, test that level here for this week in both of these markets. And then the week will probably be over. So if you check my Instagram story, you'll see I actually, dropped that screenshot where I posted that in the Discord this morning. And that was really kind of my thinking. It was like, hey, we're so far extended here, which I feel like I've been saying a lot, that, it makes sense. We'll come up and test those levels and then maybe not even pull back, but maybe just be done on the week. And then, S&Ps rally, 30 points past that. NASDAQ rallies, another, 60, 70 points past that. And we just continue to get big moves here, across the board. 222 points on the day here coming out of the NASDAQ. And I thought I was doing pretty well, capturing this move right here once we got up through 958s, picking up that pullback, buying that up here into highs. It was good for like right at 960s up towards 980s and change. So it was good for like 20-some points. And I thought that was going to be like, the best and most we were going to get out of the day. Which was decent and it worked, but these moves are just, at this point, if you can get long and hold it, it's worked out really well here. So the normal kind of thinking that, I like to employ of trends and pullbacks and all of those things, we just aren't getting those quite yet. So, with that being said, we had a nice trade of the NASDAQ. We had a nice trade out of the S&Ps. I traded both of those kind of together there. And then we had a nice trade here out of ROKU. And what it's pretty much done here is set the week up to where I don't necessarily have to do anything else. The week's kind of already in on a Monday, essentially by 10:01 this morning, which is really nice. But there are a couple things in which I want to watch. So with ROKU here, we got this one long this morning, basically right off the open. And I ended up getting kicked out of this one right up through here, just at 10 o'clock there. But it was good for $1.35 on the options to $2.03 on that top exit. And I literally got, nicked out right there. Even said, hey, I'll probably regret this. It likely goes higher. Couldn't quite get to the next target here. Probably saves it and tags it tomorrow if market cooperates. But nonetheless, really good all the way around. So with that being said, my game plan now for the rest of the week is like, hey, I want to be super patient. I want to be really selective. So what I've done here is taking a look at the earnings calendar that we have for this week. And I've gone ahead and picked out a couple of names each day that I want to be watching. So going into tomorrow here, Tuesday, we do have a couple of names before the bell here, which I want to cover first. So we've got Kohl's, that's a non-event. We have Lowe's, which is decent. There is actually a level in there that I'm going to be watching for. And to the upside is that level in here, and that's going to be 210.08. So if we can get over 210.08 tomorrow, maybe a 211, 211.50 open, something like that would be perfect. Retest that level and then bounce from there. So that's going to be Lowe's. If we gap to the downside, I'm going to leave this one alone. This right now is the only trade in which I have in there. Next up, we've got Best Buy. So Best Buy is BBY here. And this one, I'm not entirely too sure what I want to see out of it. I don't have any real levels in here. It's overall, it's a retailer. It's been fairly weak. But we did see, Amazon and Target and a couple other names get a decent bounce on their earnings here. So I'm going to keep an eye on it tomorrow. It's likely a non-event, but I do want to at least take a look at it. Next up is BIDU. BIDU, a gap over 120.23s here would be interesting. It's not something I want to play pre-earnings or any of that stuff. Over 120.23s would be decent. If we're right at 120.23s and we're, kind of just 119s kind of bumping into that, then we could potentially use it as resistance and fade it back. This is one I could see, potentially trading 119s, 120s, and then fading back and actually maybe going red on the day and getting some downside action, unless it massive gap to like 130s or something like that. But the preferred gap in here would actually be to the downside, somewhere down around 103s, 105s, I think would be pretty perfect for there. But if it does gap up, that 120.23 will be the line in the sand. And then, so with that, we've got Kohl's, we don't have Kohl's. We got Lowe's, Best Buy, BIDU. Those are going to be the ones for pre-market tomorrow. NVDA here is after the bell. That one's obviously the biggest one here for the week. I don't have anything at the moment in here. Obviously, we'll wait for tomorrow. But 520 here is an earnings spike high from last earnings here that I do think trades. Does it trade through that, which would technically trade it, and we get a big gap to the upside? Or is this one kind of a non-event and we end up with a smaller gap to the upside? So that's kind of the thinking I have in mind at the moment for NVIDIA here. And then the last one that I'll be watching this week is going to be John Deere, ticker symbol DE. And I have no real plan in here, but it can get some pretty decent moves. Like you can see this daily move over here. We can get some pretty decent moves off of earnings announcements in Deere. This one gets a nice big gap up, completely fades that day. So it is known to perform at least on earnings. Now, going into tomorrow, there is one name here on the list, top of the list here is Zoom, that had earnings after the bell today. I want to take a look at it. I haven't seen what it's done. Had a big spike up here towards 71s and a pullback to 67s. This one looks to be a non-event here. I was saving it to look at it when I got back to the desk, and unfortunately, I think I'm a little disappointed in this one. So I can see this one potentially fading here. Not the greatest of looking charts in my opinion, so likely not going to be doing anything in this one. So unfortunately, we're going to leave the video on that note. I thought Zoom was actually going to be something. I was expecting a big surprise out of it, and then nothing. So that's how it goes. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys in tonight's free video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe, comment, all of the things, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.